Welcome back to part 2 of the Raging Bull 5 restoration. If you didn't see in the last video, I restored the black or 3M pair of the Raging Bull pack. At first glance, the suede pair looks to be in perfect condition. Not only does the upper look like it's never been worn, but the outsole also shows the same signs. Besides some visible scratching on the ankle, there looks to be no other visible damage. Just because the shoe looks perfect at first glance does not mean that there's any imperfection. As you can see, the outsole separated from the midsole with relative ease. This is just due to the age of the shoe and the glue degrading over time. And as usual with a shoe of this age, the midsole is also starting to crumble. I'm going to start off the restoration by cutting the stitching on the toe box so that I can get full access to the midsole and outsole. Now with the outsole, I'm going to remove the large chunks of midsole that I have access to. Removing the large chunks of midsole that are on the shoe, I'll be able to speed up my process of restoring the shoe overall. Now with a syringe, acetone, and a putty scraper, I'm going to scrape off the remaining bits of midsole that are still left on the outsole. For some reason, I seem to have pretty bad luck with my camera stand. Maybe I'll be able to get a new one for Christmas or something. Maybe Jimmy rigged one up. Now with an X-Acto knife, I'm able to remove the midsole bits that the putty scraper was not able to get. Now with the remaining bits of midsole removed off the outsole, I can start putting a few coats of white paint down to mask any imperfections that are on the midsole. If you're enjoying the video or just enjoy this kind of content, it would be greatly appreciated if you liked and subscribed. This will help my channel grow over time. Here with an LED light, I'm going to display the difference between a painted and an unpainted outsole. As you can see, the unpainted outsole allows a lot of light and imperfections to be seen. Here the painted outsole shows that it does not let as much light through and also hides the majority of the imperfections that could be seen on any midsole. Finally, I have the donor pairs in, a pair of fire red 5s. As I was wanting, the midsole on the donor pair is in perfect condition. Unlike the beginning of this video, the midsole on this shoe does not peel whatsoever, and there's not many separations in the shoe. Besides this one small separation that I made, which will allow me to remove the midsole better. Now, hopefully this is not a pair of 2020... Oh, mother... Now, if you're a new viewer or just don't remember, I had a previous bad experience with a pair of 2020 Fire Red 5s. I don't remember exactly how long it took, but it took a very long time for me just to remove the midsole from the upper. Now, luckily this time it only took me about 30 to 45 minutes to remove the uppers from the midsoles. At this point, I was thinking that removing the midsoles and the outsoles would have been a piece of cake just because of how easy it was to remove the uppers. But, of course, I was dead wrong. No matter how much acetone I used, it just never did anything. So I resorted to having to use an X-Acto knife to cut the midsole from the outsole. I was also unlucky enough to have the outsole rip on me when I was trying to pull it apart with a pair of pliers. In the end, I ended up having to cut the outsole into many pieces. There ended up being many deep gouges into the midsole, which I ended up having to use some filler to fix later on. I still ended up having to use a Dremel to remove some bits of the outsoles that were still remaining on the midsole. Here I used a black ink marker to mark the areas on the midsole that I needed to shave down to allow the upper to fit perfectly. Before I attach the midsole to the upper, I'm going to go ahead and paint it. To finalize the midsole, I'm going to go ahead and use the custom paint mix that I made in the last video to paint the shark teeth on the midsole.